Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I also join my colleague on the side congratulating the Fiji team for winning the series 2015. My question this morning is to the Minister for Lands and Mineral Resources. Can the Minister explain what is the nature and the extent of the Ministry's contribution this year to the provision of safe drinking water to Fijians as stated in the Constitution? Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. I invite the Honourable Minister for Lands and Mineral Resources to have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Honourable Member for the question posed. The Department of Mineral Resources under the Ministry of Lands carries out a very important task. One of the tasks that they carry out is the drilling of boreholes. This is to assist especially rural communities access to clean drinking water. For 2015, the department has been allocated a budget of $565,000. This is to assist in the drilling of boreholes in 20 settlements around Fiji. We have a target for the year, and there's also been a budgetary allocation this year of $2.6 million for the purchase of a new rig to assist the department in this important task. We're expecting this rig to get into the country around August this year. That will assist us a lot in reaching our target of 20 for the year. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary question, the Honourable Fijian Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Honourable Minister for those comments. In my maiden speech, Madam Speaker, I spoke about a settlement outside of Natandola, on the environment of Natandola, where they're drinking from water from a borehole that is full of toads. This is the village of Usama. The Honourable Minister comes from that area. She grew up in that area. She understands where I'm coming from. Has anything been done about the village of Usama, Madam Speaker? Or perhaps, if we can have a formula established by government on what government can contribute and the villagers can contribute so that they get a proper borehole dug up for the water. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. How do we get this list of settlements to drill boreholes in? It's usually through requests from these settlements themselves. They write to us asking us to come and drill a borehole in their community. So what we do, we carry out an assessment, a groundwater assessment, to see if there is a source of water in the area. And we will gladly look into the specific case of Visama in that regards. As for the contribution of communities towards access to water, in previous years, what normally happened was that the community itself would provide the funding for pipe and a generator set, pump, to get the water out of the borehole to the homes. As of this year, we piloted a new approach to see how far can government go in assisting those communities who do not have that kind of funding. Because government has seen that where we've only drilled the holes, in some cases, these communities, because they did not have the funds to fund the rest of the reticulation, these boreholes have been unused. So for our pilot project this year, the Honourable Prime Minister, through the relevant unit under his office, generously funded the pipes because a certain community couldn't really access the funds for that extra mile to their homes. So government, in the bigger picture, are looking now at partners, possible partners, government could partner with to ensure that the drilling of boreholes stops at the house with water coming out from taps in residential homes.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Anna Rewandi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank the Minister for her response on this issue. There are some initiatives taken by government that we do not have any legislation or information on the standard of water being used by our communities. Desalination plants that are being distributed in rural areas, and the rainwater being collected and being packed and sold locally. What is the status of those drinking water, whether it is safe, whether it is safe for drinking or safe to use for bathing? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I can only speak in relation to the boreholes which the Department of Mineral Resources looks after. But generally, for drinking water in Fiji, the question might, the Honourable Member might want to target that question to the relevant Ministry of Infrastructure and Public Utilities. Madam Speaker, in relation to boreholes, the department also tests that water. Like I said, we carry out a groundwater assessment first. We have a lab up at the Mineral Resources Department with the necessary skill sets to determine that that water is safe for drinking before we go ahead and drill boreholes for access for rural communities, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Given that water is life, I will give the floor to the Honourable Nico Noikula.
In the villages, we don't have the benefit of the towns, chlorine and all those. We have water, but safe drinking water is a big question. And we have a right under the Constitution to be provided safe drinking water. So what measure does the government have to ensure that the drinking waters that are taken from the boreholes, from the hills where, cattle are there, to monitor that they are safe?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, there might be a misunderstanding of what borehole water is. Chlorinated water is what we get out of the water reticulation system. This is water that is extracted directly from source. And like I said, again, we carry out tests to ensure that there are no foreign toxic materials that are in there before we go ahead and drill boreholes. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I'll give the last question to the Honourable Josefa Dulakivirata.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the Honourable Minister for Lands and Mineral Resources for her explanation. I also understand that the government leases big tracts of land for catchment areas for safer drinking water. Most of this area, Madam Speaker, are grown with indigenous forests. And by leasing this land for catchment area, the landowners are denied the right to harvest these trees. My question to the Honourable Minister is, if this fact is factored into the lease arrangement paid to the landowners. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, the norm is, if it's a commercial company or anybody for that matter, if they're going to reserve a buffer zone around an extraction point, that zone is normally leased out through normal lease conditions. If there is a case that the Honourable Member was referring to where this hasn't happened, would be happy if it was brought to our attention. Thank you, Madam Speaker.